What's going on with the goings on, y'all? Y'all gotta forgive me a little bit. I know I'm late, you know what I'm talking about? And by the time I drop all this, it might be a little late, but I ain't never wrong. You know what I'm talking about? I had a little physical therapy today, so I had to get my limbs together. And it's longer than usual, you feel me? But I'm gonna try to get straight to the point, you hear me? You understand me? Already. So, like we normally do, let's get into a little bit of basketball. Unfortunately, I ain't get to uphold my end of the bargain today, but I will be watching the Pistons game. You know what I'm talking about? I had to get up and get my limbs together, so I couldn't get nothing together when it come to the games. You know what I'm saying? By the time I found them, I was watching the Minnesota game. You know what I'm talking about? And it was a blowout. So, but we're gonna get into it. So the New York Knicks went up 2-0 on the Philadelphia 76ers. And I just feel like they ran out of gas. You know what I'm talking about? They had a productive game, you know what I'm saying? Maxi had 26. He was a little better than he was usually. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have Embiid, you feel me? Which I don't know if that's a gift and a curse. You feel me? Y'all play without Embiid, you know what I mean? Which I respect for sure. Everybody got their shots off, but look what happened. When it came time for the game to slow down and y'all needed to relax, y'all ain't having to relieve some of that stress. You know what I mean? Like you know what I think? I think he should be like Shea Butter. You know what I'm saying? I know I use that analogy, but you gotta know it's an analogy. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I call him Shea Butter and he had butter for them elbows is when it come to the elbow, he's butter, baby. You know what I'm saying? He come to the elbow, which is anywhere anything in 16 feet, and he shoot that mid range, and he's good at that mid range. So, like Embiid is good at the mid range. Y'all could have had a nice little pick and roll. He get pop out to the mid range, maybe even a three from time to time, and he hit that shot. And he would have been able to slow the game down in the fourth quarter, and y'all would have been able to make layups. Maybe that little bit of win would have made y'all win. You know what I'm saying? But y'all didn't think that way, and now y'all down 2-0. But that's nor here nor there. I like the way you continue to make this go through Cap. You see the production we getting. You know what I'm saying? He had 20, 10, and 7. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. That's a making for success. And I'm glad y'all doing it like that, whether it's a tight game or a blowout. You feel me? Because like usual, Bronson shot the blood out of it. He made more shots than he missed this time. You know what I'm saying? But he still was 1 for 5 from three. I guess I'm just gonna keep because he little. I'm little. Well, I'm gonna complain about the shot. You shouldn't take that many long distance shots. They should be mid range and below. But that's just me. You know what I'm talking about? You understand me? Shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? You know, out of Nobly, am I saying your name correctly, sir? You know what I'm saying? You probably the one for this series because you keep being consistent. You had like 24 points yourself. You feel me? Hey, can't stop. Don't stop the music. You can't stop the music. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Now let's get into this other game. And we got the Minnesota Vikings. Man, Minnesota Vikings must gonna do good in our division this year because man, it seems like every day I'm talking about them guys. Uh, the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the San Antonio Spurs. Now, before I get into this, Minnesota, don't get down on yourself. It's 1-1. This was what you wanted to do. You knew the next game was gonna probably be an adjustment, and that the Minnesota Timberwolves was gonna come to play, and they did. You know what I'm talking about? They made more shots. That's basically what it boiled down to. They made the shots that they put up. You know what I'm saying? Versus them having a struggle game or trying to get back in the game or whatnot. Because when Wembanyama ain't had that much, he had like 19 points. You know what I'm saying? It's a decent game. So he wasn't the one to beat you for real, for real. It was Castle and Harper off the bench. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't had much, but it was effective. Everybody was like 5 for 10. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the shots they put up, they made them. And when you make the shots you put up, it take a lot of pressure off what you trying to do complete. You know what I'm saying? Because 19 points ain't an outstanding game. For that matter, 21 points ain't an outstanding game. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm 6 for 10 and everybody else is 50% from the field, you know what I'm talking about? You usually come out if you on the upside instead of the downside, you usually the upside wins. And they won 133 to 95. So like I said, they was putting them in. They was going in. You know what I'm talking about? You understand me? Randall, Ant-Man, and McDaniels. I haven't been saying your name throughout the playoffs, but I figure I'll write your little stats down. Y'all all had like 12 points. You definitely can't have 12 points and think you're going to win the game. Then you just see Wembanyama had 12 points the last game and he lost. So what makes you think, knowing that you ain't equivalent to their team? Fuck, because this is a team effort. Your team, the Spurs team, and the Minnesota teams are not equal in the slightest bit. So you gotta come with extras. You ain't got no extras, and they catch their stride. It might be a long, long series or relatively short one. All depends on how you looking at it. You know what I'm talking about? But you know what I'm waiting on? I'm waiting on tonight. You understand me? We got the Thunder versus the Lake show. And we got the Detroit Pistons versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. You understand me? Now, I guess, we're going to get into some of this rhetoric, so we might as well put it in there. I guess Donovan Mitchell wanted to state that it might be a little flopping on the Pistons end. Yeah, I don't know about that kind, sir. We play good defense. You know what I'm talking about? And like J.B. Bickerstaff stated, flopping is a violation. So I don't know where you got that information from. That's probably something you just wanted to say because you heard it sounded good. The sound bite sounded good. You know what I'm talking about? But we ain't gonna get off into none of that. You know what I'm talking about? Go Pistons. You talking about Detroit basketball. Forgive my language. I don't mean to offend or harm anyone. This is my disclaimer. You understand me already? So Donovan, let's not get into that. We need you to hoop. That's what you need to do. Worry about hooping. Worry about putting the ball in the basket. That old skip to my Lou floater you keep having. It ain't gonna work every night. You know what I'm talking about? You was out there looking like James Harden. And where was James Harden? Because he sure didn't show up game one. Let's see if he show up game two. And if he don't, then it's gonna be a tight fight. You shouldn't have got rid of the team you had last year. I'm pretty sure you told the upperclassmen that. Like, we shouldn't have got rid of what we had. We was going. I was the primary, and everything flowed through me. Look at the Detroit Pistons. Everything flowed through Ham. And if Ham ain't hamming, we got Salmon, the OG. You know what I'm talking about? But I ain't going to get off into that. Let's get off into some of this rhetoric so we can get on up out of here. So I guess Spirit Airlines, you know what I'm talking about? I guess people from Spirit Airlines decide they want to buy Spirit Airlines. And it look like it's going relatively well. We shall see. We got a big owner. I mean, a big owner, sponsor, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? He's of the Caucasian persuasion, but these days, who isn't? Excuse me. These days, who's it isn't? You feel me? And he done raised up enough money. It's about $36 billion by now. You feel me? And he's had the operations. I hope somebody regular get it so we can get some of these jobs back. It would be nice. You know what I'm talking? See what you black, brown, white, all nationalities. See what y'all do. See when y'all come together. What's if uh the community can stay true. You know what I'm talking about? I hope it happened though, cause that's definitely it. You know what I'm saying? For us to have a airline that's built for the common everyday individual, that's definitely what it do. Um, a smoker from a smoke shop. I don't know if he was unalived or not. You know what I'm saying? But I seen the video and he choked. He choked. You know what I'm saying? And someone called the ambulance. You know what I'm talking about? You say it was a fentanyl scare. So they putting fentanyl everywhere. I even seen where somebody had a sucker and fentanyl was in it. You know what I'm talking about? And it's primarily because you know what I'm saying, it ain't in the community to get it off. You can't bring nothing in the community and I can't touch it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get rid of it. I touch everything. So if I can't touch it and I can barely see it because it's so small and it'll get rid of y'all. Oh no. We can't bring that in the community. That's too much something of damage control. We can't have that much damage control in one unit. So, they gonna do everything to make it an epidemic and make it the worst thing in the world, and you're gonna get a billion charges for it. That's just the way it go. If they can't control it, they gotta let it go. And if they gotta let it go, then they gotta build up the drama. You know what I mean? But that's no here nor there. Let's talk about a little drama. We got Diana Ross wasn't supposed to be in the Wiz. She wasn't even supposed to be the actor for the Wiz. But during that time, she was the hottest artist ever. You feel me? Michael Jackson was one of the hottest artists ever. The Supremes was on top. Only thing about it, she was well off into her 30s. Michael Jackson was just 20 something, coming into his own. And she told the people of the Wiz, which is a generic version of, which to me should have been the original version, which technically it was because the original version was on Broadway, and the actor for the Broadway musical was Stephanie Mills. Now Stephanie Mills was supposed to be the actor that was gonna be brought on for the Wiz, but Diana Ross, being who Diana Ross was at the time, wanted to be close to one of her concubines and stated that she would do the Wiz and she would bring her concubine along if you let me get this part. And they like, what? You gonna bring Mike? Of course you can get the spot. You bring Mike. Of course Mike ain't gonna say no to Diana. So Diana got the part over Stephanie Mills. Shout out to you, Stephanie. You know what I'm talking about? Some more drama for your mama. Florence Ballard. Now I was around for the beginning of this story. And shout out to Florence. Mm, I want to talk about this so bad, but like I was there in the beginning. So like I watched the situation unfold. Florence Ballard. For people who don't know who Florence Ballard is, she did the Supreme. She was the co-founder of the Supremes. I really want to say the founder, but the co-founder of the Supremes. Uh, Tragically, she died early in her life at like 34. You know what I'm saying? Probably from anxiety and stress, for real, for real. But it was the 80s, so you do the math if you want to. But yeah, she tragically died early with no money. I remember her living on the west side. No, she was a number street young lady. Shout out to the number streets. Um, and I remember her coming on 12 a lot. I don't even know if her kids remember me, but if you do, shout out to you. Um, it was about 3, 4 of them. I don't know, my memory kind of bad because the 80s was something crazy. But shout out to y'all. I don't need she like I said, she was the co-founder of the Supremes. You do the math. She brought a lot of them people that's on the Supremes. It was only two of them, but she brought a lot of them to the forefront. If it wouldn't have been for her and her songwriting abilities, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it would have happened. And shout out to my granny, man. She rests in heaven. You know what I mean? They worked on a lot of that, so I got the chance to meet the kids and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like I said, they probably don't remember me, but I remember them vaguely. So we was young, we was impressionable, so we don't know no better. We don't know she what hardship she had. We was happy to just be in the yard together. But shout out to you, Florence. You know what I'm saying? This one kind of hit hard and probably a little home for me. You know what I mean? Because I think after she passed away, we moved down there on Warren and Commons. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Um, but shout out to you and the Supremes. Um, what's going on in Arizona? So I guess a meat market in Arizona had humans in it. You know what I'm talking about? They had heads. They had uh uteruses, male and female. You know what I'm talking about? They had all kind of removable parts, and they was of the human variety. You feel me? And it was people working there. Some of the people even said, "Hey, we was just working there." Like what type of shit? Say a lot of them even stated that they was donating they people's body parts to science. The whole while Arizona had that clay popping. Okay, let me find out that red dust wasn't red dust. Shout out to Arizona Meat Market. Fuck you talking about? They had I don't mean to offend and harm anyone. This is my disclaimer. Parental advisory, explicit content. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, they had a lot going on down there in the red state. You know what I mean? For real, for real. Shout out to Jay Wick. I hope everything goes good, brother. I didn't quite get all of the statement, or not for that matter. I didn't get all of the ramifications of the situation, but it stated that you shot a man. You know what I'm saying? You got arrested in Florida, so we don't know where you shot the man at. You know what I'm talking about? But they arrested you in a mini mall, so they had to been watching you. The sheriffs came and put the handcuffs on you. You know what I'm saying? Did you have a warrant? I don't know. I don't know all the ramifications of the situation, but I know that pork chop sandwich is burning. Yeah, you won't be making no more pork chop sandwiches, huh? For real. Uh, let's see. Uh, damn. Do I even know where I'm going? Okay, so I guess Big Bang from the Big Bang podcast. I would imagine. I guess he sat back and he talked to one of them holistic doctors, and the holistic doctor was breaking down, you know what I'm saying, the vastness of life, and he was stating how that he don't know how to he can cure you. I don't even say cure. What he said? He said uh that you can go to the practices of the practitioners because you know they got technology that he don't have privilege to. You know what I'm saying? He probably could have had privilege too, but I don't think he wanted to sell his soul or give up his practices in order to do so. I need y'all to go watch Big Bang. It's I forgot the name of the show. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure if you type in Big Bang, you'll be able to get the information that you need. And you need to listen to him. This is just my personal opinion. Now you cannot and you know go about your day and everything gonna be everything like it usually is. But yeah, go see what he talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Big Bang. You feel me? I'm liking what you're doing so far. You and I heard that you was gonna have Face on there. Phase one. Forgive my language because I know you get upset when I'm talking. You even wrote a rap about me. I kind of liked it. You know what I'm saying? It was a little vague though, but you know, no here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the creativity was kind of here nor there. You know what I mean? You know what I've been meaning to do? This don't even got nothing to do with nothing, but I've been meaning to go back to my battle rap again. I seen a couple other little situations. I'm gonna talk a little further on it. You know what I mean? After I do the piston hook up Monday or Tuesday, I'll probably get on here and talk about a little bit of that. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get into some battle rap. Um, let's see. I think we got one more, guys, and we're gonna get on up off of here. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's been relatively light. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come. I ain't want to just not show my mask. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? I ain't want you to be like, hey, where? You know what I'm talking about? Because eventually it's gonna go to where I ain't talking about nothing too much. You feel me? And you know what I mean? It's gonna slow down a little bit. Might even go to 1 or 2 days, especially if I get this physical. Once I get this physical therapy going, I'm gonna be tired. I ain't gonna feel like kicking it, especially if I gotta get up. I like to get up in the morning, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? So I like to get up relatively early. I don't know what time this video gonna drop. This video might drop late. It might drop early. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna put it on the Tubi though early. As soon as I'm done. You feel me? So, you know. But let's get to this one more so we can go. Shout out to Blueface. My first shout out. Or maybe my second, I'm not sure. But shout out to Blueface. Nah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Nivea. Maybe it's the pregnancy. Maybe she have a little symptoms of postpartum. But ma'am, you can't go. This is a live stream. You can't go on a live stream and be using profanities and acting like you ain't sensible. You feel me? And let's just say it was all an act. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I could do a sensible act knowing there's people upstairs. So you was acting irate for what? And then it sounded like he had already told you what was going on. So you was just making a spectacle of yourself just to be doing so. And if you really bought that money, that ain't what you supposed to be doing. You supposed to be minding yours and leaving well enough alone. You know what I'm talking about? Call him and tell him, go on, break me off, sir, so I can find me something to do. And you make sure you call me when you're ready. Now you stating like a week went by and he ain't called you. You don't supposed to call him. He'll figure it out. Now, if 2 or 3 weeks go by, then you might have to have a conversation with him because now he playing with your emotions, and you know a person can understand that. But you know, a week go by, which is probably an exaggeration. It probably was 2 3 days, and you made something out of nothing. And plus, when you already know what's going on, you was doing that for what? But anyway, I guess Blueface had two women upstairs. They was getting ready, and they was going to go out to get something to eat. And Nivea decided that you gonna go out and get something to eat with me. You ain't going with them. Now, on the brighter side of things, he could have negated what he was doing and went and served whatever his baby mama wanted done. You know what I'm saying, to soothe her needs so she won't be frustrated. And he could have got along with them later on. And that's what she was stating. But at the same time, I can't keep the string going if I ain't going with what I'm doing. I gotta be going with the flowing. Cause that's what's going on. Um Now what was funny was she called the nigga doodoo face. So how did he become a doodoo face? Cause I know if he ate here, then he ate there. So you act like he wasn't eating everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? And then you got to talk about how he was grabbing and touching, and he had been grabbing and touching, saying it off camera so it looked crazy on camera. Like you knew what you was doing when you was doing what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said you were just pulling out the extra stops in order for whatever he was doing to stop, and it didn't. You know what I'm saying? It just made you look some kind of way. You feel me? Um, and like I said, the girls was upstairs, and if you seen their faces, they was at all. They was chuckling. I was gonna say at all, but they wasn't at all. They was chuckling. They was enjoying the views. You feel me? Even said peace to the camera. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, okay, then they know what's going on too. You just being extra to be extra. You feel me? And a lot of times that's how they go, man. Motherfuckers just be being extra to be being extra. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get something going and keep something flowing. You know what I mean? And that'll be it. We still did a nice little 28, almost a 30 ball, you feel me? So it was an all right day. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? And I think that's about it, y'all. So you know how this go. If you see the Sigler fan, you know it's real. And with all that being said, as the old saying goes, the smoke's gone, I'm gone.